Snap Wexley back from the dead.
Is he dead? Is he? Are we sure?
I don't know. I mean, when you
nobody's on camera.
Yeah, exactly. You see an explosion and Poe yelling, "Snap!" I mean, you kind of think. And
no one's ever really gone.
I've told you this story before, but for people that haven't heard the story, was, JJ is my best friend. JJ is best friend in the whole world since we were 5 years old, and he said to me, "Oh, look at this. Look at this. I mean, that's who's calling me."
Oh, okay.
And guess what?
No way.
Guess what?
Put him on.
I am not going to call. I'm not going to take that call.
Look at that. You heard it here first. Potathon ranked over
That
JJ
is
Abrams
pretty
for
good.
one moment.
So
he knew you were talking about him.
Yeah, exactly. His ears were ringing. So no, he, when he broke the news to me that he had the chance to do this, and I was like, oh my God, we're freaking out, right? And then we were talking about it. We talk every day, and then he tells me that he's actually going to be doing Star Wars, and he says, I think I have something cool for you, or whatever. And then over the course of, when we were about to do the second film, episode 9, I remember him saying to me, all right, this is going to be really cool, and you're going to die. And I was like, no, I'm not dying. No. And so it was an argument between the two of us, because I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? And then he told me this is going to be the last one. He's not going to do anything else, probably. I mean, never say no,
right,
but
sure.
And I was like, well, if you're not involved, then okay, I get it. But I love Star Wars so much. I said I couldn't believe that, that first of all, getting the opportunity, but it was a battle. Now we're working on this new show called Duster. We just wrapped first season, 8 episodes for Max. And same thing. He's like, all right, so and I'm not going to tell you, whether I do die or not, but it was the same thing. It's like people tend to love, like they're like, it's Greg Grunberg. Oh, you never. So there's this like love for my characters, that they write these great characters, and then they're the ones that you'll be most disappointed. They could,
It sounds like JJ's trying to Sean Bean you in every way that he can.
That's exactly right.
I was just gonna say, stay off of Game of Thrones, man. Stay away from George R.R. Martin. He's the same thing. Maybe it's the 2 letters back to back, R.R. Martin, J.J. Abrams. I don't know.
Yeah, Greg Grunberg. I have 4 G's in my name, so I'm doomed.
Oh, yeah. Now it all makes sense, Greg. Now it all makes sense.
Exactly. Hey, but by the way, before we go on, how are you guys? What's going on?
Oh, man, it's been crazy. So since we had you on last, we've created this Thursday night live show, which is ATG Live, which we do usually, but we're doing it here tonight on Podathon. Yep. We're good. We're just, we're loving bringing the Star Wars news, and the community, the Star Wars community it gets a bad rap, right? A lot of people say things like nobody hates Star Wars more than Star Wars fans, but the reality is there's so many great people that we have the opportunity to talk to on a regular basis, and just this, and that's kind of the whole thing around Podathon too, is it's community. It's this great community of people, whether it's, people who we see on the big screen like yourself, or people behind the scenes, or friends of ours who Nick and I have become best friends, and we've only met a couple times because we've met through Star Wars, and that's just so important and so great.
And you guys are living in different prisons, so it's hard for them.
That's true. That is true. That's
right.
Look, I will, whenever you ask, I'm on. I mean, this is the thing, the opportunity to become friendly with guys like you and that are sincere, that are really nice. I mean, everybody. I haven't met, although it's so funny that you say that, because every so often, I was just at a quinceañera, right? A good friend of ours had a double quinceañera.
Nope.
And his twins, and so it was like a quinceañera and a quinceañero, which guys usually, I guess, boys usually don't have it, but I mean, you have twins anyway. It was so beautiful, and my buddy Dennis, he's the dad. It was incredible. Yeah. And I'm sitting there, and the pediatrician for his kids, he has 7 kids. Guy was so nice and so sweet. And he's like, hey, by the way, I know who you are. And all these people are coming over and asking for pictures. It's like so sweet. And he goes, I know who you are. And I'm like, oh, you're a genius. You figured it out. And he goes, and then he goes, what's going on? What happened with episode 8? I hated it. It was the worst. Like, everybody has a strong opinion. And then I've heard the opposite. And then I've heard, it's exactly right. And I think it's because Star Trek's the same thing. These people are really smart. It's a very personal thing. It's a personal thing for me. I grew up with this. Yeah. And and it's the mythology and the lore, and like thinking where the characters could go, where they came from, agreeing and disagreeing with the story. I don't know. It's the best. I'd rather be a part of something, and I obviously had a small part, but I'd rather be a part of something that evokes that kind of reaction and emotion and intelligence than be a part of something where it's like, what was that? Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I've almost forgot about that. It's just important. It's important.
It's a great point. And I think that's just, and I like to believe that the majority of the people who come in hot on Rise of Skywalker or Force Awakens or Last Jedi, it's because this means so much to them. And it's, I mean, honestly, I have strong opinions on a lot of it, but I also, the other big difference is, and it's funny that the pediatrician came in hot with you on a Star Wars movie.
Now I got to tell you, he was 3-4 drinks in.
Fair, which is usually where I start. And but like Nick and I have this sort of mantra is like, you don't have to like something, but you're not allowed to be an asshole about it. Right. That's the basic simple thing that we try to go with. And I see it all. I mean, I wear Star Wars shirts all the time. I hand out podcast stickers and I tell people and it is funny. You do get people who, some of them are like, so what do you think? What did you think of the sequels? Where do you stand on those? And it's interesting.
The litmus test. You're waiting to see where is this conversation going to go?
And when you have the conversation and you realize they think they didn't enjoy it or they think they loved it, but they haven't had a chance to talk about it with somebody who gets it. Because I mean, let's face it. I mean, my wife right now, she's in the other room. She doesn't care about Star Wars, but somebody who cares about Star Wars needs somebody to talk to about it. And that's why we're so glad that we can do this sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's very, very cool. I love it. And, today is a very busy day. I mean, it's, I get asked to do a ton of stuff. You guys are in the top of my list. I know, I'm hoping that you save the best for last.